Okay, so this is a overview of soldering. So I have wires here that I need to connect to these wires. And I'm gonna strip this one right here. And now I'm gonna put some solder on these wires. And we need some insulation, so these are our heat sinks. And now I'll take out the soldering iron, just hold it like a pencil, and take out our solder. Just press the soldering iron on the wire, wait for it to heat up, and then you could apply some solder when it's ready. Once you see the solder cover the whole wire, then you can stop, move on to the next one. Now to clean the soldering iron, I'm just going to put it in some tip thinner. This keeps it nice and shiny on the tip, allows it to conduct heat better. And then after that, I just put it in the sponge to get off any residue, and you can put it back in the holder. Then we're going to do the next wire. And now we're gonna just solder the wires together now that we've finished soldering our individual wires.
Alright, now we're going to go over how to heat shrink the wire connection after you've soldered it. So this is your heat gun, the tool you use to heat up the heat shrink. As you can see, the heat gun has a power button in 3 modes, low, medium, and cool. It also has a temperature button and a way to set the temperatures using the 2 triangular buttons. Here we're going to be using the default temperature, so you won't really need to set it. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm moving the heat shrink along the wire to completely cover the connection. As you can see here, the red heat shrink is completely covering the soldered connection. You want to make sure that the heat shrink covers the entire connection and that you can't see any solder or any wire before you start heat shrinking. Okay, so before you start heat shrinking, you want to clear the area of anything that might be in your way. As you can see here, I'm moving the stripper, the soldering equipment, and especially the solder out of the way because that could melt due to the extreme heat of the heat shrink. Alright, so now I'm turning on the heat gun to the high mode. As you can see, the heat shrink is shrinking when hit with the hot air from the heat gun. Once the shrink has fully shrunk, once the heat shrink is fully shrunk, you turn the heat gun onto cool mode and then wait till it stops blowing air. When that happens, it's safe to put the heat gun down. As you can see here, the heat shrink has fully shrunk to encase the connection. It's a bit blurry here. Don't worry, it'll get into better focus soon. This is what you're going for most heat shrunk connections. At this point, this is now a permanent connection. The only way to undo this connection is to snip the connection. Alright, so this has been the basics for how you heat shrink and solder a wire. If you have any questions, feel free to email Team 1403 Cougar Robotics. Thank you.